All right, what is going on, guys? So today I want to talk about how close to failure you should be and how to actually use a scale that we call RPE, which stands for the rate of perceived exertion, or reps in reserve, which sometimes is a little bit easier for people to understand because it sounds a little bit just easier to understand. How many reps do you have in reserve, or how many more reps could you have done on a given set? So essentially how we utilize this and how this relates to how close to failure we should be is because if you go in the gym and you just pick up a random weight, that weight might be relatively light compared to where you should be, or it might be super heavy compared to where you should be in terms of a weight for a given rep range on a given exercise, right? So how do we actually figure that out if we're new to the gym or it's a new exercise, right? How do we actually do that? So that is where the actual RPE scale, or the reps in reserve scale, comes into play. And a lot of you already know, and you might have talked to me about this or seen on my post, that you should be around 1 to 2 reps shy of failure typically. And that is going to be something that's, like I said, typical. It's not going to be all the time, but it's typical. So you don't want to be training to absolute failure all the time. And the reason why is because if you're going to failure all the time, especially at the beginning of your workouts, the thing that often happens is people actually burn themselves out for the rest of the workout. So if you think about it, if you can kind of stay right at the cusp of hitting failure, where you're stimulating a lot of muscle, but you're not pushing yourself to where you fatigue a ton from hitting failure, you're going to eventually hit a lot more volume over time with a lot more weight and intensity than if you were just to push it and hit the gas pedal and then burn yourself out for the rest of the workout, where then you have to taper down in volume. So that's where a lot of times people who train in a way where it's just balls to the walls all the time, it just doesn't really make sense to me. So all of my clients, I implore you to be shooting between that 1 to 2 reps shy of failure, and from here, that is going to put you in a spot where you want to be on that RPE scale, or that reps in reserve scale, which in this case would be 1 to 2 reps in reserve. So I'm going to put up a chart about reps in reserve here so it makes a little bit more sense, but this is really the basis of how you should be training, and this over time can change. So on a day where you feel really good in the gym, you might be able to push up more weight and stay within that 1 to 2 reps shy of failure range. Or there might be a day where you feel a little crappy, you just didn't sleep very well, you're dehydrated, didn't eat enough, whatever it is, or you're stressed, whatever. You can then lower the weight and still hit that 1 to 2 reps shy of failure, so that you're accommodating the intensity based on that specific day and how you're feeling that day. So that's really where the beauty of it comes in, and the flexibility, because yes, once you are able to get and actually train to 1 to 2 reps shy of failure, and you're not just cheating yourself, because you actually want to be 1 to 2 reps shy of failure and you want quality reps, that is going to be when you really start to understand the system. But at first, it gives you a way to accommodate that intensity, like I said, and also accommodate that intensity based on an exercise or a different rep range that you're not used to. So hopefully this helps. If you guys have any questions, leave them below.